Offensive security versus defensive security. Understanding the key differences. In the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity, it's vital to know how to protect your digital assets and prevent malicious attacks. But did you know there are two fundamental approaches to securing your systems? One focuses on fortifying defenses, while the other seeks out vulnerabilities before attackers can. In this video, we're diving deep into the core concepts of offensive security and defensive security, and why understanding both is crucial to staying ahead of cyber threats. Before we get started, if you're passionate about learning more about cybersecurity and want to keep your data safe, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us create more valuable content and keeps you updated with the latest insights in cybersecurity. Now, let's get into the first major distinction between offensive and defensive security. In cybersecurity, two main schools of thought guide how professionals approach protecting their systems: offensive security and defensive security. Both are essential in maintaining a robust cybersecurity framework, but they differ significantly in methodology, focus, and application. 1. Offensive security. Offensive security is proactive. It's all about identifying vulnerabilities before attackers do. Those working in this field, such as ethical hackers or penetration testers, actively try to break into systems. Their goal is to mimic real-world attacks in order to expose weaknesses that could be exploited by malicious actors. By finding and addressing these vulnerabilities, offensive security professionals help organizations strengthen their defenses before it's too late. 2. Defensive security. Defensive security, on the other hand, is reactive. It's designed to protect and shield systems from attacks as they happen or after they've occurred. This involves setting up firewalls, monitoring systems for suspicious activity, and implementing security protocols to mitigate damage when an attack is detected. The goal of defensive security is to create barriers and minimize the damage caused by potential cyber threats. Don't forget to like this video if you're finding this information helpful. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content that will help secure your online world. 1. Offensive security, being one step ahead. Offensive security is about taking the initiative. Instead of waiting for an attacker to strike, professionals in this field simulate attacks to understand potential weaknesses. This method is commonly used in penetration testing and red teaming. Penetration testers, also known as pen testers, use various tools and techniques to attempt to breach an organization's security. They think like hackers and exploit vulnerabilities to help organizations discover what needs fixing. Pen testing is a controlled process, often scheduled regularly to ensure that systems remain secure against the latest threats. Red teaming. A red team acts as an adversary, simulating full-blown attacks on an organization. These teams are given the freedom to mimic sophisticated attacks to challenge both the organization's defenses and its ability to respond effectively. The focus of red teaming is on understanding the response processes and highlighting areas for improvement. Both penetration testing and red teaming are essential parts of offensive security because they focus on identifying gaps before attackers exploit them. 2. Defensive security, strengthening the shield. While offensive security seeks out vulnerabilities, defensive security is about protecting against them. Professionals in this field work to detect, contain, and neutralize threats as they occur or, ideally, before they can cause significant damage. Monitoring and intrusion detection. One of the key aspects of defensive security is monitoring systems for any suspicious activity. This involves using intrusion detection systems, IDS, and intrusion prevention systems, IPS, which constantly scan networks for signs of potential breaches. Defensive security teams must be vigilant and prepared to act at the first sign of an intrusion. Firewalls and antivirus software. Another critical element of defensive security is the implementation of firewalls and antivirus software. These act as the first line of defense, filtering out malicious traffic and preventing known viruses from spreading across the network. Incident response. Defensive security also involves creating a comprehensive incident response plan. This plan outlines the steps an organization should take once an attack is detected. A fast and effective response can mitigate the damage caused by cyber incidents, whether it's a data breach, ransomware attack, or denial of service attack. By creating layered defenses, defensive security aims to reduce the impact of attacks that slip through the cracks. 3. The importance of combining both strategies. Now that we've explored the core principles behind offensive and defensive security, it's important to emphasize that these two strategies aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, the most effective cybersecurity programs integrate both approaches. 1. Proactive and reactive measures. By combining offensive and defensive security, organizations can both prevent attacks and minimize the damage when they do occur. For example, a penetration test might reveal a weakness that the defensive team wasn't aware of. Once that weakness is discovered, they can take action to patch it, preventing potential future attacks. 2. Continuous improvement. Cyber threats are constantly evolving, which means that both offensive and defensive security need to keep up with the latest techniques used by attackers. Pen testers and red teams must continually refine their skills, while defensive teams must update their protocols to handle new types of threats. By working together, these teams can ensure that an organization's security posture remains strong. Conclusion: in the modern digital world, no organization can afford to rely solely on either offensive or defensive security. It's the combination of these two strategies that offers the best protection against cyber threats. Offensive security helps identify weaknesses before attackers can exploit them, while defensive security builds the barriers necessary to protect systems and data when an attack occurs. If you found this breakdown of offensive versus defensive security helpful and want more content like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're dedicated to providing you with the insights and tools you need to stay ahead in the cybersecurity landscape. And now that we've covered the basics, let's move on to the first specific strategy for enhancing your cybersecurity defenses: offensive security techniques that every organization should be using. Stay tuned.